coming back wholeheartedly with the 5-year-olds and all the young energy that they're putting out there with the drill music and how the drill music is starting to move further down south into the West Coast. We took something from Chicago and made it our own. Like now it's a New York drill. It's a sound that we're known for. It's just.
So what is Jim Jones talking about? How did we take drill music and make it our own sound when we literally just took it? We didn't tweak it. Imagine me taking your mama's famous recipe, not adding my own ingredients and seasoning to it, and just taking her famous macaroni and saying, yeah, this is mine now. I made it my own. No, it's still your grandmama's famous macaroni. She is the one who made it. All we did was steal it.
Jim always found clever ways to go from being the hype guy to referring to himself as the Copo since the dipping set days. The issue, though, is what happens if you don't allow people to regard you as anything less than the legend you say you are.
A lot of people have been poking at my age, and I'm in my 40s still, so that's funny to me. Most of these people, it's funny because most of these people's favorite rappers are either my age, older, a little bit younger. Yeah. Even people like Drake and Meek and all them, everybody's barking on 40 right now, but then they got this thing on, I'm the oldest YN. Yeah. It's funny and thing.
In fact, he claimed to have accompanied me on the film shoot. Cool, I said. However, such stories are being heavily sidelined by fans. Because the stories don't always match. People refer to him as the Jim positioned himself as the movement's leader over time, putting his name on the Harlem rap Mount Rushmore. However, his reputation is further put to the test each time the receipts are examined. This is where things become complicated, though. Although Jim's relationship with Dipset is famous, his claims don't always add up, as admirers frequently point out. He claims to have been the genius of the maneuvers one moment.
You want to go to the Billboard entries, pull up Nas Billboard entries, and pull up my Billboard.
Cameron, or Joel Santana, is given credit as the true architect in the next minute. Back and forth has generated many discussions both online and on the streets. In reality, who is making the decisions? Although Jim proudly refers to himself as Capo, others are now accusing him of inflating his role and changing history by changing it to Capo. Every time he makes an outrageous statement. Admirers on social media pull him down, saying, wait, that's not how it went down.
This is my issue with Jim Jones, right?
One of Jones' most embarrassing moments this year is when Kanye would tell a story of irony.
Basically, like, he gonna get a percentage if he introduced me to this crypto. Right? When I found out that he was getting the money, I was like, how much money is it? Yeah, I'm gonna take that meeting. I said, look, send me a PDF. For anybody who doesn't know, it's like a group of pictures in a folder that you send to the iPhone. You could do like 300 pictures, 10 pictures on it, 10 pages. I said, send me a PDF of all the ideas, all the young niggas you know. And this man tells me, I don't know how to make a PDF. That was way more disrespectful to me than a nigga figuring out how to get the $2 million. You gonna lie to me about a PDF, you nigga? After I sat and took the meeting for you, you took the money and I ain't even asked your broke ass for a percentage?
Just like
and locating previous interviews to refute him. Furthermore, it doesn't end there. Jim used to refer to himself as the face of Harlem hustle, which is something that critics point out. Receipts, however, indicate that he was more of a supporting actor when Cam was in charge. Jim appears to be making an excessive effort to cement a legacy that may not align with reality, which just serves to stoke the flames with that discrepancy. Suspicions are raised with each new appearance or interview. Is Jim Jones speaking the truth, or is he just making up a story to maintain his reputation? Furthermore, Jim's statements frequently seem to be based on fantasy rather than reality. People always remark that he should show the receipts instead of simply talking loud when he talks. His interviews are repeatedly replayed by fans who analyze them and point out the discrepancies in the timings. Jim Jones, who was born and raised in Harlem and had connections to the Bronx, made his name in the mixtape period. However, there were several stages throughout his trip. The backdrop hype of the dude riding with Dipset comes first. Then the ostentatious hustler took center stage. And now, the period that no one anticipated.
Such as Capo attending to Neon's Timbs.
Bro, come on, bro. This is crazy.
I feel like I'm very proper, you know, so.
Nah, bro, this is wild for the night.
Oh,
I don't even know how you got these 3 back to back like that, bro. That's not even supposed to be like that, bro. This is crazy, bro.
Wait, what happened to my laces? Oh, are you putting it back in?
Bro.
Being seen by society as the oldest guy who is still attempting to establish his worth. That title hurts because it makes him seem less like a boss and more like someone who is having trouble remaining relevant. People claim that Jim aspires to be respected as a living legend, yet far too frequently his tales seem to have been lifted from a screenplay rather than actual events. Critics mock him for pursuing titles and altering history rather than applauding his unquestionable work ethic. Additionally, in a society where fans verify everything,
recently saw a clip on Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
Yeah, that's my young boy.
big hits.
He's wild.
How crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying, Nas is like a god.
In my,
right?
era, in my era too. Gold records, platinum records, gold albums, platinum albums. No, me, Jim Jones. No diplomats, no nobody else. Me, Jim Jones. Check my track record, then check everybody else's track record. Then go to the billboards and check all my entries, and check all them niggas' entries and shit like that. And I'm not taking nothing away from nobody.
the Capo label is more firmly attached than before. Jim Jones was born in 1977 and is currently 48 years old. However, the man continues to pursue the image of a youthful street hustler rather than assuming that original role with dignity. With statements like, "I'm convinced Jim Jones got to be working like a CIA agent." Some people even go so far as to make outrageous charges. According to this idea, his entire goal is to persuade young people to engage in hazardous behavior, accumulate offenses, pursue influence, and obstruct their own chance at a legitimate future.
Rocks, but I came up from that cooking cane to crack. Shit. Now I'm a rude boy shotter man, New York's Rodomon.
That kind of rhetoric, whether accurate or not, demonstrates the extent of the distrust that surrounds him. Critics argue that Jim ought to be mentoring the future generation given his advanced age. Instead, though, he's showing off like he's in his 20s. He is made fun of by fans for boasting that he has never grown up, dressing like a kid, and using streaming cameras to document the mayhem. He also never passes up the opportunity to inform everyone that I got 40K on me right now. Just like clockwork, demonstrate his continued dominance.
But when it comes to doing music, at all. Most people have been in this game as long as I've been in the game and not here anymore. At all. They way gone. They can't compete. Not on this level. At all. I can compete at the top level right now. Period. Against anybody. Especially for my era group. I spank they boots. I don't care who you put in the booth with me. And I got the money to back it. Right now, tonight. That's the difference.
Here's the twist, though. Up until the streets push back, everything appears to be comedy and amusement. Jim met Alpo Martinez, one of the most notorious street legends in Harlem, one somber evening. Alpo's name was significant to Harlem's history for many years. And the fact that he was in the same vicinity as Jim caused rumors to spread around the city. People were curious about Jim's resilience in the face of a man. His reputation was based on strength and terror rather than just music.
James, man.
Shit.
Hell yeah.
That's a community
That's
sneaker.
sick.
Oh, no, we out of here. We going this way.
Oh.
No, we out.
Okay.
I know you was, you heard?
My bad.
We out. It's my bad, gang. You heard?
Oh, fuck.
Ain't tell me
What,
niggas
that is
no
one?
motherfucker.
We go too far though, so please give that subscribe button some serious pressure. Yes, exert pressure because things become much more bizarre after this. Alpo didn't only observe Jim from afar. According to reports, he wanted to know how much of Jim's street raps were true and how much were made up. The true test occurred when Jim was engaged in a verbal sparring battle with Pusha T that was only a warm-up. Though as one of the greatest rappers of all time would shortly enter the G scene, there was a lot of talk in the streets about a leaked recording that showed Nas sending subliminal shots. Everyone questioned if Nas was actually shooting for Jim or if it was merely poetically disguised friendly fire. Jim took control of the situation and refused to back down.
Shut up. It's either the Joe Freshes or the protection. Huh?
You dropping bread, baby.
Oh, wow.
You dripping money
Wow.
over here.
Well,
In an attempt to demonstrate that he could compete with the great himself, he rapped over Nas classics. This was more than simply music to Jim. It was a declaration. He desired for the world to view him as a person who could reinvent the Harlem heritage according to his own terms, on par with the legends. Not everyone, however, concurred. Despite the fanfare, a lot of rappers still didn't treat his discography with the deference he believed it merited. The murmurs grew louder. Was Jim truly of the opinion that he was superior to Nas?
I've seen you do this in Say Less. I've seen you do this in the studio. You'll pull out the 100K and say, who won it? It's up. Who won
100%. I ain't got 100 on me now. I got like 40, 50 on me.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's right now.
Was he indeed attempting to disparage one of the most renowned lyricists in existence? Those questions had a greater impact than the music. Ultimately, Dipset's Harlem Bronx capo will live on in memory, if perhaps not for the reasons he intended. He is seen by some as a survivalist who rose to fame after the mixtape era.
Going back and forth, nigga said he went to shoot the film with me. I said, cool. What? I said, I'm flying out to LA tomorrow. We can shoot the 31.
You would not have gotten no props for beating up Kanye. You would have.
Back and forth, he claimed that he accompanied me on the film shoot. Cool. I said, what? Said that I was taking a plane to Los Angeles tomorrow. The 31 can be shot. I don't deserve any praise for beating up Kanye. Do we want others to know that he will always be the oldest guy in the game, still pursuing youth, and that he is one of the biggest capos in modern rap? I appreciate you seeing this video, and if you enjoyed it, you should check out my other short and long-form films, which are available here. Check out my article about Max B, please. You won't want to miss this story you are already aware of. How we conclude each video at Moxie Approve. Since the age of 6.
Since the age of 6, I've been right here. 1199. The same block. I went to Catholic school since the age of 6. Stop playing with me. And a lot of people wasn't here when I was here at the age of 6. Not on this side.
I'll see you on Moxie Approve next time with that water. Here's the reality. It's possible that Jim Jones will always hold 2 championships simultaneously. On the one hand, he is the hustler from Harlem who battled his way from the mixtape corners into the public eye, creating an irrevocable persona.
I actually was born in Harlem. I was born in Harlem at a hospital called Flower Fifth Avenue. That's in Harlem. A lot of my family's from Harlem, a lot of my family's from the Bronx.
However, he is also perceived as the self-styled capo who told an excessive number of stories that, according to supporters, don't fit the truth. His name, this paradox. Jim's career has been full of highs and lows, from swapping subliminals with Nas to having a dispute with Pusha to his set golden days. People increasingly wonder, though, if his legacy will be remembered for the music or for the Capo label that accompanies him everywhere.
You are not from Harlem. Why do you keep thinking that you are from Harlem, bro? You are not from Harlem. I did not grow up with you.
Because the internet never forgets and the streets never forgive. The pressure only increases at age 48. Jim intended to establish himself as the final legitimate capo in Harlem. But now his reputation is being put to the test like never before.
And it's good to hear you give Mace his flowers.
I ain't giving no flowers. Fuck that nigga. I love to hate because I'm a hater myself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm a bona fide hater.
His name will continue to be discussed because of the ongoing controversies around him. Thank you for viewing. Stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Lovely.